Hey, welcome to today's Boating Life interview with Todd Ritter of Hall Marine. Todd's been involved in the marine industry for over 4 years and specializes in marine lending. He was involved in the MIT program for the nation's largest marine dealer, supporting manufacturers such as Sea Ray, Harris Float Boat, Boston Whaler, Azimuth, Hatteras, and Meridian Yachts. Todd, thanks for sharing your expertise with us here today. Let's jump right in.
Sure.
In general, what types of things should boat buyers look for when searching for a boat loan?
Well, I think that it's changed over the past couple of years. I know for a while people were maybe expecting higher interest rates and everything else because of the economy, and luckily that's turned around. I would say in the past year. I would think that people that had purchased boats in the past couple of years, if they're going to buy a new one, they'll be pleasantly surprised with their interest rate because rates across the board have gone down. And obviously, when you get a rec loan or a boat loan, you have the longer term, which you won't really get with your local credit union, which we try to stress here a lot. So overall, lower term or longer term and lower interest rate.
Okay. With all the media attention on the economy and the troubled banks and tightening of lending, are there still good boat loans out there for people?
Yeah, I would say there's better boat loans out there for people now than there was in the past.
Where can people find them?
Well, let's say you're to buy a boat from us. I have a handful of lenders. All of them are very, very good, and all of them have specialized departments that just do boat loans. I think you'd be surprised with some of the banks. A lot of times people have their checking through some of these banks. But that's where you're going to find them. Every big player in the banking industry has boat loans. But it's especially the ones that have specialized boat loans that we really go through.
Now, I've heard that a customer goes to their bank and they walk in where they have their checking relationship and they're not able to get the same programs that you are. How does that work?
Well, when banks sign up for indirect lending with the dealer, there's certain benefits that the dealer has with the bank. That's the whole idea behind the indirect lending. So a customer might go into his bank, whatever, and apply for a boat loan or direct boat loan, and he might find out that the interest rate on that loan might be a little higher than the same one I'd get at the same bank, and that's really only because banks want to support their dealers, and indirect lending it really is beneficial for a customer. A lot of people think it's the other way around, but it's not.
Because of that relationship
Right.
and the volume, and you taking some of the work off them,
Right.
they're able to provide a cheaper
Mm-hmm.
loan product. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. What should they look for as far as down payments that people need to make when they're looking at new and used boats?
It all depends on the deal. But for the most part, you're going to want to look for 10%. That's what banks always want to see is 10%, whether it be true equity in cash or whether it be through a trade. It doesn't matter how you get there as long as you get there.
Okay. So, and used boats are the same?
Typically.
Okay.
Typically, yeah.
Okay, very good.
It depends on the year, but for the most part, used boats are the same. Yes.
Now, some people, they think that a boat loan and car loans are similar. Is this true? And if not, well, what are some of the differences?
Not true at all. A rec loan is really something that is kind of a luxury. So everybody needs a car. So I think that with cars, underwriters and banks are looking for something much more simple, and they're a little bit more lenient. Whereas boat loans, they nitpick a little bit more. And a lot of times when you get into bigger boat loans, you're dealing with almost a mortgage type of underwriting versus a simple auto loan.
Okay, so if you're buying a $50,000 car, your car payment might be $800, $900, $1,000. What would something like that look like in a boat loan if you're looking at a $50,000 loan?
Like we had mentioned before, with boat loans, you have a longer term. So with a $50,000 car, you're really only going to have it for 5 years or 6 years. So your payment's going to be $600, or whatever it is. Where with the boat, you have the option to push the term, to 10 years, to 12 years, to 15 years, which will really make your payments much more manageable, which is really why we do it.
Okay, and that's because a boat has a longer lifespan, or why are they able to go such long terms?
It's just that's the type of, I guess, when the banks decided to make them different departments of, I guess, between their auto loans and their RV and boat loans, I think that they had to decipher them somehow. They had to separate the two, and they realized that not everybody needs a boat, so they had to kind of put some incentive into it for people. And they realized if people already have their car, they already have their house, they can't have the same type of package and afford to have a boat. So they wanted to make boats accessible for everybody and manageable for everybody.
Okay, makes sense. Now, tell everybody a little bit how the process works. Is it easy? Is it difficult? Is there a lot of paperwork?
It's an easy process. Really the hardest thing is finding the boat that you want and determining a price that you're comfortable with. And then my part of it is really the easy part. The hard part's done when you get to me. All we really have to do is just do the credit app, and then I build the deal, and you come in the next day and close.
And you take care of all the interaction with the bank and.
Oh yeah.
Okay, very good. Now, a lot of our clients, a lot of folks that buy boats are self-employed, or a large portion of their incomes from commission or bonuses, and not just a standard W-2.
Sure.
What should they expect?
Well, it really depends on the amount financed. If it's a larger amount financed, they're going to want some kind of proof of income, which can come either through, if you own your business, some kind of K-1 statement or something that shows that you're pulling money through your business, or a 1040. Basically some kind of tax return. What we've realized over the years is a lot of people that own their own businesses are a year behind in their taxes, or they filed an extension, and that's fine too. You just get the 2009s or the 2010s or whatever you have, and banks typically take all that stuff. But a lot of times with the lower amount finance, so 50K and below, they really don't need all that stuff. So it's pretty easy.
Very credit score driven.
Exactly.
If you got good credit, you're in good shape, ready to go. Okay, very good. Now, you mentioned in previous conversations that sometimes, as Hall Marine's finance department, you can finance a deal when a local bank or credit union isn't able to do it.
Sure.
Why is that true?
Well, a lot of times local banks don't even really mess with boat loans, and if they do, they're making exceptions. So they're learning and doing it at the same time. So their process is going to take 10 times longer than my process, because by the time they realize really what has to go on in a boat loan, I've already had the approval. So I think for most people, it's just more convenient to go through everything in-house. It's a one-stop shop. So we like that, and that's how we built it. That's the whole point of doing what we do. We want the customer to be happy, and we don't want to put any kind of inconvenience on them.
So you make it nice and easy. Most of the time, you're able to get better programs and rates
Certainly.
and terms
Certainly.
than going
Right.
direct.
Because the banks that I go through, that's what they do. They just do boat loans, so they understand the competition.
And you can look at a particular deal and say, hey, this goes best to lender ABC, and this one
Certainly.
goes.
Each lender has their own niche, and they have their own benefits, and every deal is different in their own way. So if you look at a deal, you think that one deal would fit better over here, and another deal would fit better over here, and that's the beauty of having a lot of different options.
Okay,
So
cool. Perfect. Anything else that you think folks looking and researching purchasing a boat or trading a boat should know about boat financing?
I think by the time it gets to me, the customer's already made up their mind, and that's great. We're in the business to make the customer happy. We sell a fun product, and if you decide to come back and get another boat, they're not hard to get out of. You can get out of a boat and we can get you to another boat. It's not like a car. It's a luxury item that people are happy to have. So I would say that in the end, it's just it's an easy and fun business. So.
Well, very good. If people do find the right boat when they're working with their Hall Marine salesperson, they'll be introduced to you at some point, and you'll be giving them a call?
Oh, yeah. As soon as it hits my desk, you guys will get a call, and we'll get everything figured out as quickly as possible, and we'll get you out the door. So.
Well, perfect. Todd, I appreciate you sharing your time today and your expertise. I know I learned a few things, and next time I buy a boat, I'm sure I'll have this in my back pocket.
Oh, yeah.
If any of the listeners would like to get in touch with you direct, do you do pre-approvals?
We do. We certainly do. We have a couple different ways to do that, and I almost prefer them in a lot of cases. So, the sooner you get to me, the better.
So that way you know what the terms
Exactly.
look like, and you can start doing your research process there.
Mm-hmm.
And they should do that through their Hall Marine salesperson?
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. Well, Todd, I appreciate your time and sharing all the information with everybody.
Yeah, of course.